Hey guys, Sofirn here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a review on the Sofirn SR23. Let's get into this. So, if you don't know about the Sofirn SR23, it's a 3300 lumen torch with 3 TN3535 emitters and one SST08 UV emitter rated at 365 nm. Let's get unboxing it. So guys, moving on to the unboxing, we can see Sofirn's standard box, which I do like. We see the 3300 max lumen rating with 200 meters of throw there. If you move to the back, you just see the standard runtime graphs, IP68 waterproof, 1 meter impact rating. It's all little bits there. Let's get into the inside of the box now, and you see it's got the same style box as the QA with the magnetic flap, which I do like. And we see a little bit covering the insides, which now says how to remove the card insulating ring, which I think if this is your first time buying a Sofirn torch, that is very helpful. See the standard instructions on runtime graphs, etc. Specs, so boost driver, emitters, sort of type C charging, weight, etc. And telling you here we have the instructions for the UI, which is Sofirn's custom UI since it's a dual channel torch. So yeah, that's the sort of instructions there. If we move onto the inside, Sofirn still supply a lanyard with spare O-rings as well, and we've still got the charging cable, except now it's USB-C to USB-C rather than the old one before, which was the USB-C to Type A. So I could see that being useful for some, but maybe not for others. Just sort of depends how you charge your torches, really. Onto the main event here, and we can see the SR23, and straight off I'm really liking the rubberized grip here. This is the first time we see Sofirn sort of doing these types of grips, and it does feel a lot better than I thought it would. It is very grippy, and it's sort of like a nice rubber, not a cheap feeling rubber by any means. Got the reversible clip here as well, which I am a big fan of, especially if you're looking at EDCing these lights. Got the 2 buttons for the dual channel. Threads feel good, tight, which is good for the waterproof. Then we can see the card removal here. So if you're new to the torch world and you're buying your first torch, make sure to remove that card. Put the end cap back on here, and turn her on for the first time. So yeah, there's a white light and there's a UV. So that's the unboxing, and I'd say it is packaged very well. So guys, moving on to the specs and a deeper dive into the SR23. We'll start from the top, where we see the TIR optic and the 3 TN3535 emitters, as well as the SST08 UV emitter, which you don't see often on torches anymore. So I could see that could be quite handy for some people. Moving on to the front bezel, we can see it's quite sharp and serrated, giving it a tactical look, which I think is quite cool. Moving down to the buttons, nothing too special. You see the 2 buttons for the dual channel UI. Yep, nothing special, but get the job done and have a nice sort of rubberized look and feel to them with a bit of tactile feedback. And we also see it has lights as well, telling you the battery status. Moving down to the grip, we see Sofirn now utilising a rubber grip, which we've never seen before, and I will say I'm actually extremely impressed with it. It feels a lot nicer than I thought it would, and just overall gives you a better grip on the torch than a lot of other sort of metal grips that we've seen in the past. So yes, I'm very happy with that. Standard reversible clip, which I'm also happy with seeing as well, because it just makes life a whole lot easier when you're EDCing these things, especially if they're a bit bigger. Moving down to the tail cap, we see it's got hole for a lanyard, and it is magnetic as well, so that's useful if you've ever got to do something and you've got to put your torch up on a stand or something. You've always got the magnetic tail cap. About the battery, it's just a standard 21700 5000 mAh battery, which Sofirn do supply. If you're charging it through the USB-C port on the side of the torch, that will take roughly 3.5 hours, which is pretty standard for a 21700 torch. So yeah, we can see the buttons, everything on it, and yeah, that's about it really. So guys, what's my first impressions of the SR23? I think it's definitely different from any torch that I've used before. Having the UV light, the 2 switches, the dual channel UI, definitely something different, but nevertheless still built extremely well, very solid, and I think it's going to be a great little torch. So guys, I'll start off with the UV beam shot test. I wasn't entirely sure on how to actually get beam shots for UV, since I've never had a torch with this feature, but I looked it up and there's a couple things that we can do with it. So I turn it on. Super simple to use. It's the top button like so, and then you hold to turn it from low to high, etc. So we'll start with the £5 note, and as we can see there's a little fluorescent 5 that if we go to the normal light, otherwise you would not be able to see with the bare eye. So yes, that's quite a cool feature. And if we move over to this little torch that I've got here, if we hold it on there for a few seconds, it's glowing in the dark, which I thought was pretty cool as well. So yeah, there's the SST08 365 nanometer UV. Now I have seen on some forums that people would maybe prefer to have the feature of like a red light or something, since a lot of people may not use UV, which is understandable. So I thought that was a pretty cool consideration to have as well. So we are out with the SR23. We'll start off with a throw style test. Now this thing claims 200 meters of throw, which for a 21700 torch of this size is really good. So let's ramp up from Moonlight here. It's got stepless ramping, and then when you see that click, you are into turbo mode after you see that flash there. And this is lighting up a good section of this forest here with a nice balance between throw and flood, and it's got quite a nice rounded beam with no hotspot. So that is the throw test, and we'll move on to a flood test now. So onto the flood test now guys, and this thing should have quite a nice and wide beam because of the TIR lens. So let's ramp up. And as we can see here guys, no satinating or artifacting, and a lovely wide beam. And now that we're a bit closer, we can also see a bit more of a defined hotspot, but a really nice beam on this guys. So we'll go on to a throw and flood style test now. We'll ramp up from Moonlight and go straight into turbo. I'll also list the candela on top of the screen now as well. So guys, what's my final thoughts on the Sofirn SR23? I think it's a really solid little torch. Having gotten used to it now and used it for a few days, I really like the option to go between the white light and the UV light. I think overall it's a really practical and versatile torch, having it dual channel like that. Built really well, and for your first torch, I think it's definitely worth considering it. And if you're looking for something different, I'd also check it out as well. Discount codes in the description. Unfortunately guys, that's the end of the video, but remember to like, subscribe and turn on those notifications so you're notified when I post another video. Bye!